Today on TVC News, the Center for Health, Education, and Wellness hosts their annual Safe Spring Break event.
Dogs and pet owners take to the streets for the annual Mardi Gras Parade.
And Croatian students come to the University of Tennessee. All that and more coming up. Welcome to another episode of TVC News. I'm Jake Albright.
And I'm Grace Klassen. The Women's Coordinating Council celebrated feminism and women's rights with their Empowerment Summit this past weekend. TVC reporter Lauren Irwin has more.
Thanks, Grace. In honor of March being Women's History Month, I got to check out the Women's Empowerment Summit this past Saturday. The UTK Women's Coordinating Council, with support from the Circlehood of Women Philanthropists, hosted the inaugural Women's Empowerment Summit on Saturday, March 7th. Registration was free and open to all UTK students through VolLink. The program aimed to educate and empower UT students through a series of workshops about feminism, sexuality and religion, women in leadership roles, and current legal issues including diversity. People lined up in the atrium of Haslam Business Building to receive pamphlets about the sessions they would be attending and socialize before the event. The first session began at 10 a.m., which featured guest speakers Katie Kleinkoff, a PhD candidate in the Department of History and a professor in Women's Studies, and Katie Conrad, a doctoral candidate in Child and Family Studies, a professor in Child and Family Studies, and a former professor of Women's Studies. Both women hope to encourage other women to speak up and have conversations about real issues going on in the world.
And really finding voice, and yeah, this is something that's important to me just because having a space where everyone is kind of on the same page of why this is important, it's really encouraging.
Both Kleinkoff and Conrad spoke about the importance of diversity and how the only way to move forward is to move together.
One of the things I think that's most valuable about it is actually having conversations that you often don't get within the classroom. So you can talk about feminism and faith, right? You can talk about sexuality, all of these things that are often hidden behind closed doors. This really brings them out to the public, shows that they're not shameful to talk about, and that it's really important that we actually have dialogue surrounding what this means in women's lives so that we can work for empowerment and not just continue to hide, right? And not speak up, right? We have to learn how to raise our own voices.
The speakers urged the audience to embrace each other's differences, to grow new ideas, and bridge the gaps between seemingly opposing views. Both Katie Kleinkoff and Katie Conrad agreed that the importance of this event was to teach, inspire, and encourage women to have a stance and a voice. The sessions continued until 3:45 and included speakers such as Knoxville's first female mayor, Madeline Rogero, and UT Dean of Students, Dr. Melissa Shivers. For TVC News, this has been Lauren Irwin. Students should be on the lookout for more upcoming events hosted by the Women's Coordinating Council for Women's History Month throughout March. Check out their Twitter at WCC_UTK. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Lauren. Students tasted the world in one of the last events of Culture Week this past Thursday. The event put on by the Central Programming Council allowed various student clubs on campus to bring food from their specific culture to showcase to attendees. Everything from main courses to side dishes and desserts were offered for tasting. The free event gave each student in attendance a ticket that allowed them to vote for their favorite food. Some of the fan favorites were dates, cheesecake truffles, and Japanese onigiri. For more information on events through the Central Programming Council, visit go.udk.edu/CPC.
The American primaries are gaining much more than just national attention. As TVC's Taylor Gilmore reports, a group of students traveled halfway around the world to learn more about our presidential election.
What are the primaries and what do you expect of the primaries in Tennessee?
Lucia Dosic is part of a group of students from Croatia traveling in the United States. It's all for a documentary the group is doing on the American primaries.
It is a shock because we don't have primaries. We just have 2 or 3 or 4 persons.
Lucia and her classmates traveled from Croatia all the way to Knoxville, Tennessee for the first stop on their American tour.
Through this mini documentary, we will show them the whole process from primaries to presidential elections.
The group has interviewed well-known figures like Congressman Jimmy Duncan and political blogger Glenn Reynolds, and they hope to keep adding to that list as they travel to Washington, D.C. Lucia says coming to Knoxville has exceeded all of their expectations and given the students reassurance as they continue the filmmaking process.
You're so welcoming and patient and, I don't know, open-minded. Very, very good.
After After 4 days in Washington, D.C., the students returned home on Monday to begin their editing process.
The Center for Health Education and Wellness hosted an event to educate students on safe spring break habits. TVC reporter Kirby Harville was there to check it out.
Thanks, guys. Looking forward to spring break next week. TVC got a closer look at how to stay safe and have fun. With spring break just a week away, the Center for Health Education and Wellness hosted their annual Safe Spring Break event this Monday. Students were lining up for free tanks, popsicles, and to learn how to stay safe during spring break.
Our Safe Spring Break event is to promote healthy decision making for our students during spring break and beyond, really. And so we have 4 main areas that we are focusing on during this event.
Each area focused on a specific topic with interactive games and activities. Students gained a variety of information ranging from healthy drinking habits and sexual health to staying safe in the sun and being an active bystander.
Our culture out of our office really promotes the Balls Help Balls model, which is a community model that basically says that we are all volunteers and we look out for one another. And as such, there may be times in an instant during spring break when students might be caught in a really tough situation. They might see something, hear something that causes them some concern. And so what we want to do is empower them and help them to understand what steps they can take to step in and intervene in those moments and speak up as a volunteer and looking out for one another.
Though some came for the popsicles, most students had fun and left the event with newfound knowledge on staying safe during spring break.
It was a lot of fun and very informative, so I'm glad I did it.
There are just 2 days left till spring break, so remember to stay safe. Reporting for TVC News, this is Kirby Harville. If you want to learn more about the Center for Health Education and Wellness, you can visit their website at wellness.utk.edu. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Kirby. Coming up after the break, we have Elena Emery in the studio with your weekly sports update.
And we'll take a look at what we can expect for this week's forecast with Kayla Garner. Stay tuned.
The fascinating thing about the brain is that it's largely unknown. You really have to go to the lab to gain practical experience and to discover the unknown yourself. Being the first person in the world to know something about the brain, that's when it gets really exciting.
All right, but we're only buying what you can wear out.
Really?
Welcome back. And now we've got TVC's Kayla Grainer in the studio with your weekly weather forecast. Kayla, what can we expect this week?
Thanks, Grace. It looks like we're finally done with the cold weather, just in time for spring break. Today was a high of 75 with partially cloudy skies and low winds. Thursday looks to be much like today with a high of 77 and partially cloudy skies. The start of spring break looks to be a little rainy with a chance of showers on Friday and Saturday with temperatures in the upper 70s. Sunday and Monday will have thunderstorms and temperatures in the low 70s. We'll finally see some sunshine Tuesday and Wednesday to finish out the week. So go out, enjoy the sunshine, grab your Eno, and have a great spring break. Back to you guys at the desk.
All right, thank you, Kayla. And now we've got TVC's Elena Emery in the studio for our weekly sports update.
Hello, Vol fans. This is a big week for basketball as the men head into the SEC tournament. The men face Auburn on Wednesday for the 3rd time this season in the opening game of the tournament. The Tigers are 5-13 in the SEC, while the Vols are 6-12. Last time the two teams met, the Vols were victorious 71-45. But this time, they will have to win without senior guard Kevin Punter. It was recently announced that Punter will undergo surgery on his right foot, cutting his college career short. Hopefully the men can pull out a win, as this might be head coach Rick Barnes' first time missing the postseason since 1991. The Lady Vols lost to third seed Mississippi State in the semifinals of the Southeastern Conference tournament. This might be a tough end to a tough season for the Lady Vols, as they are hoping to receive a bid for the NCAA tournament. Sophomore Diamond Shields was named the SEC Women's Basketball All-Tournament Team, and Tia Cooper has been named to the 2016 Southeastern Conference All-Freshman Team. Congratulations, ladies, on your accomplishments. The softball team heads to Columbia, Tennessee, a neutral site, to play Belmont on Tuesday. This will be the team's 15th meeting, and the Vols hope to continue their streak undefeated against the Bruins. Looking forward, the Vols will play Arkansas in a third-game series at home for the SEC opener. First pitch for the game is on Friday at 6 p.m. Tennessee divers Mauricio Robles, Liam Stone, and Rachel Rabideau are making a splash in Atlanta in the NCAA National Championships. Robles and Stone qualified in the 300-meter springboard competition, and Rabideau qualified for the 1-meter springboard. And now we come to the biggest news in sports this week, Peyton Manning's retirement. On Monday, Peyton formally announced his retirement after much debate following the Super Bowl win. Thankfully, Peyton decided to go out on top. His NFL career performance may never be matched. With the most touchdown passes in a season, the most career touchdowns, the most wins as a starting quarterback, the most games with a perfect passer rating, and being the Super Bowl and Pro Bowl MVP, he's untouchable. We volunteers would like to give a big thank you to Peyton, as he changed not only UT football, but the sport as a whole. As he held back tears at his press conference, he looks towards the future by saying, quote, "I'm totally convinced that the end of my football career is just the beginning of something I haven't even discovered yet. Life is not shrinking from me, it's morphing into a whole new world of possibilities. We can't wait to see what the future has in store for the Vol for Life." Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Elena. Spring break is only days away.
That's right. So I took the pedestrian walkway to find out what students are planning for their vacations. It's time for another edition of Man on the Street. With the sun shining and midterms fastly approaching, that only means one thing: spring break. We're out here on Pedestrian Walkway asking students what they're doing for their upcoming spring breaks next week. First question, what are you doing for spring break?
Well, I'm actually on the track team, so they're taking us out of spring break they're taking us out of Myrtle Beach for track meet, so we'll be down there the whole week.
My mom and I are going to Washington, D.C.
This year I'm actually going to New York with a club from UT called DSLS.
I'm actually staying in town. I've got some different things I've got to do around town, doing some things with friends, and at the end of the week I'm going to Atlanta.
I'm going to be working for most of it, but we might go to Florida, Daytona Beach. I'm with the family.
I'm going on a trip to St. Louis with RUF on campus. It's like a mission trip.
Sleeping, going home.
What is your ideal spring break?
Actually the beach. It's New York's far from the beach, but it'll be okay.
Honestly, anything. Like sometimes I like to do something fun with friends, or like a trip like this that's to help people, but just something that's like a break from school.
Not having homework to do first, and then also just being with friends, probably just going out and doing things, entertainment of that sort.
My ideal spring break would be just kind of relaxing with my family. We're very family oriented, so just spending as much time with them as possible. Watching TV a lot, catching up on my shows, reading. Yeah. I plan on reading. I'm excited.
Going to the beach.
Ideal spring break, just chilling, relaxing, maybe go to the beach, hang with some friends, just not think about school.
Honestly, anything with like friends or family. As long as I'm with good company, I really don't care what I'm doing.
What has been your best spring break ever to date?
Best spring break ever? It would probably be last semester, because me and my friends got together and we went out and played laser tag and a couple other things, and then did like an all-nighter and stuff, so we made like 2 whole days of it, and it was really amazing.
I got to go on a trip to Hawaii with my family, my senior year of high school.
One year, me and my high school friends, we went down to Panama City Beach, and that was pretty fun. That was an experience.
Actually, last year I went on an alternative spring break. I went to St. Louis with the Center for Leadership and Service, and we worked on like disability, ability awareness, and that was amazing. It was a really great experience.
Well, probably this coming one, because I usually just stay home in bed and sleep.
No, like we usually try to always do something with the family. So like we will typically like go to the beach. So either Daytona Beach or I think we went to Myrtle Beach one time and it was really fun. And I think because of the spring break environment, like a lot of people were on the break at the same time. Like it was just like a really fun atmosphere.
Being lazy.
Would you rather stay at home and relax through spring break or go on a vacation?
I guess a vacation. Yeah, that's hard. I like to relax.
Oh, go on an awesome vacation. Absolutely.
All right.
Go on vacation and then stay in bed while I'm there.
I would probably rather stay in town just because, like, I wouldn't want to have to spend money on gas and get lodging and all that. When you're here, you just get up and go and do whatever you want to do, and then you don't have to do that extra expense and all that.
Awesome vacation.
All right. And as midterms are approaching, what are you doing to survive until spring break?
Man, I have like 3 midterms, like tomorrow and Thursday, and what I'm doing to survive, I'm kind of just really spacing them out and, you know, taking in the fresh air outside, going to Dunkin' Donuts, doing the simple things to keep me going.
Sleep. Lots of sleep.
Well, I think what helps is studying outside and like taking advantage of all this awesome weather, so yeah.
Honestly, just keeping sight of the goal. Like, I try not to get too bogged down in the work, so just kind of focusing on Friday, essentially just being like, all right, just till Friday, so just kind of keeping sight of the goal mainly.
I'll be studying, like in the car, and yeah.
That's going to do it for another edition of Man on the Street. I'm Jake Albright. Have a great spring break, UT. Coming up after the break, Peyton Manning retires. Results from Super Saturday and Super Tuesday put some presidential candidates in the lead, and the passing of a former First Lady. Stay tuned.
The energy at Tennessee reaches far beyond our campus. As Lady Vol and academic All-American, Candace Parker set new standards. Now she electrifies fans in LA. Keeping the lights on there and across the country is the work of Professor Elu Liu. Her research on the power grid puts UT at the forefront of this national issue. Candace Parker and Elu Liu, 2 exceptional women. Both chose Tennessee. Big Orange, big ideas.
Oh, shoot. It's Friday. All right.
As noted on the syllabus, every Friday is Big Orange Friday.
Today is Friday!
Yeah, Excuse me, sir. Can you tell me what day it is?
It's Friday!
If you're a Tennessee Vol, every Friday is Big Orange Friday.
Okay. All right.
Welcome back. Mardi Gras, one of Knoxville's favorite traditions by both humans and animals alike, returned for its annual parade this past Saturday. The 9th annual Mardi Gras parade featured both dogs and people of all ages. Dogs dressed up in their favorite costumes and took to the streets of Old City and downtown Knoxville to celebrate. All proceeds from the event benefit the Young Williams Animal Center. The event was voted Knoxville's best nonprofit fundraiser in 2014. In addition to the parade, a festival was also held in Market Square for dogs and owners alike.
The former Vol and Broncos quarterback, Peyton Manning, announced his retirement from the NFL on Monday. Manning played 18 seasons in the NFL after helping build the football program during his time at the University of Tennessee. Manning was selected by the Indianapolis Colts as the first pick of the draft in 1998 and finished his career with the Denver Broncos. Manning scored 2 Super Bowl wins and had the most touchdowns of any player in the history of the game. He was also named MVP 5 different times. Manning even described a conversation with his daughter Mosley, who had some questions of her own about the ending of his career.
Well, our daughter Mosley asked me, Daddy, is this the last game? Yes, Mosley, it's the last game of the season. I sure do want you to win that trophy. I do too, Mosley. And that's what we're going to try to do. Then she asked, Daddy, is this the last game ever? And that's just when I shook my head in amazement, because I was thinking Morton Adam Schefter had gotten to my 5-year-old daughter to cultivate a new source.
Thanks, Peyton, for the impact you've had on the game and all of Tennessee. Hope to see you back on Rocky Top soon.
Trump holds his lead in the GOP, and Sanders and Clinton continue to go head-to-head in the Democratic Party as results from Super Saturday and Tuesday are revealed. On Super Saturday, Ted Cruz pulled out wins in both Kansas and Maine caucuses, while Donald Trump pulled out delegates in Louisiana and Kentucky, holding his lead over the other three candidates. On the Democratic side, frontrunner Hillary Clinton sealed a win in Louisiana, while Bernie Sanders narrowed the gap with wins in the two remaining states, Kansas and Nebraska. Super Tuesday's results have also come in. Donald Trump held his delegate vote, led by 100 over Cruz, with wins in Hawaii, Michigan, and Mississippi. Cruz pulled out one win in Idaho. The Democratic side gave Clinton a win in Mississippi and Sanders a very close win in Michigan.
Let me thank you for the dedication and the hard work you do in the political process for the people of Michigan and for the people of the United States of America. Thank you so much for what you do.
I want to thank the people of Louisiana and the people of Kentucky. It's been just an amazing relationship.
The next election results to come in will be from Guam and Washington, D.C. for the GOP and the Northern Marinas for the Democrats on Saturday, March 12th.
Former First Lady and actress Nancy Reagan died Sunday at the age of 94. Reagan died in her home due to congestive heart failure. She will be buried at the Ronald Reagan Presidential Library next to her husband, who died in 2004. A longtime friend of the Reagan family said, quote, "Without Nancy, there would have been no Governor Reagan, no President Reagan." Nancy Reagan was one of the most high-profile and influential first ladies of the 20th century. President Obama praised Reagan and her legacy.
As somebody who's been lucky enough to have an extraordinary partner in my life as well, I know how much she meant, not just to President Reagan, but to the country as a whole. He was lucky to have her, and I'm sure he'd be the first to acknowledge that, so she will be missed.
Flowers at her funeral, Reagan asked that contributions be made to Ronald Reagan Presidential Library and Foundation. Rest in peace, Miss Reagan. You will be missed.
A Vanderbilt graduate student was stabbed to death earlier this week in Tel Aviv, Israel. The attack happened just prior to Vice President Joe Biden flying in to meet with Israel and Palestinian leaders. The student, identified as Taylor Force, was on an abroad trip working with startup Israeli companies. According to the police force, he was stabbed when a Palestinian man attacked the neighborhood of Jaffa. 10 others were wounded, but other faculty and students on the trip escaped unharmed. Attacker was identified as a 21-year-old man from a West Bank Palestinian refugee camp. Vice President Joe Biden responded to the attack with a tweet that read, quote, "Tragic attack in Jaffa today. Taking the life of an American. There is no justification for such acts of terror."
Tennis star Maria Sharapova lost her endorsement with Nike after failing to pass a drug test. The athlete tested positive for a little-known drug called meldonium at the Australian Open in January. She admitted to taking the drug legally for 10 years before it was declared a banned substance in January. Sharapova claims that she did not know the drug was banned and acknowledged her mistake. She once held the #1 ranking and was the highest-paid woman in sports for 11 years. Nike said that they were surprised and saddened by the news about Sharapova and decided to suspend their relationship with her while investigation continues. Sharapova addressed the issue in a press conference on Monday, stating that she knows she will face consequences.
I made a huge mistake, and I've let my fans down. I've let the sport down. That I know that with this, I face consequences, and I don't want to end my career this way, and I really hope that I will be given another chance to play this game.
The International Tennis Federation said that Sharapova will be provisionally suspended effective March 12th.
You can now add comedian Louis C.K. to the list of public figures condemning Donald Trump. In an email sent out to followers of his web show, Horace and Greeley, C.K. took the time to urge his readers not to vote for Trump. In the rant, he called Trump an insane bigot and compared him to Adolf Hitler. He wrote that Trump is not a true conservative and that he is dangerous to our country. His lengthy attack on the candidate expressed his concern for the state of our country and the Republican Party. He said, quote, "Trump is not your best. He's the worst of all of us."
Dolly Parton will hit the road this summer for her first major tour in over 25 years. The 70-year-old singer will perform in more than 60 cities in both the United States and Canada. More details have yet to be released. For the past 20 years, Parton has performed in only select cities in the U.S., and luckily Knoxville and Sevierville have been on the list. Parton said, quote, "We're so excited to get out there and see the fans again." Parton plans to sing all of her old hits as well as some of her newer songs from her album Pure and Simple. Hopefully, she'll even sing Rocky Top. East Tennessee Dolly Parton fans will continue to wait in anticipation for her to announce if she will make another appearance on Rocky Top.
All Thursday morning, Phi Mu Alpha Fraternity will be selling Krispy Kreme donuts on Pedestrian Walkway. From 7:30 to 11 o'clock, you can grab a delicious breakfast or snack and raise money for a good cause. Proceeds will go towards a campus beautification project. All donuts are $1.
This Thursday, you can go to the International House for a night full of Brazilian culture. From 6 to 8 o'clock in the community room, the Department of Modern Foreign Languages and Literature and the Portuguese Language Club are hosting a food sampling and evening of fun. Brazil's national dish of black beans and pork will be served for $5 a person. So Grace, what are you doing for spring break next week?
I'm going to New Orleans.
New Orleans? Well, I'm going to another new place, New York, coming up. So hopefully you guys will see me on the Today Show. Maybe. Tune in. We'll see.
We'll get our new one.
All right. That's going to do it for today's show. I'm Jake Albright.
And I'm Grace Klassen. Have a great spring break, UT.